Hey YouTube, Monty53 here. Smoking, it's a Capitello Grenzio. This is a antique pipe I bought back in February. And what I'm smoking is a new tobacco, the Warped line, Until the End is the name. This Warped is a cigar company that Smoking Pipes sells. And they came out with several blends starting back in September, October, starting with the Haunting. And I think they've got probably up to 5 now, 5 different types of blends. And this one, I'm really enjoying. I got it. It came out this past week. And this has Ecuadorian cigar leaf and specially selected dark fired Kentucky. It is pretty potent, but I'm going to do, in a couple weeks, start doing some reviews on some tobaccos. I know I've been doing a lot of stories, and I'll start doing some reviews, but I know probably I'll do a series on Warped tobacco. I've got 4 different types right now, and this one I'm highly recommending, even after just smoking it for the week. It's a good tobacco. Not necessarily for beginners with that cigar and dark leaf, but being a cigar smoker, I really do enjoy that blend. Okay, for this week, I'm changing up a bit. I always, in my introduction, I was talking about some of my hobbies. Besides pipe smoking, one of them is known as wet shaving, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but I'm gonna show how there's a connection between the two and these hobbies, and how wet shaving, which I'll explain in a second, led to me going back to the pipes. And it also led me to, when I'm in my workshop, one of the things I like to do with my wife is we make our own personal soap and stuff like that. So if you're not into this, I understand. If you don't want to watch it, no problem. Next week I got another video coming out for Mother's Day with a story about my mom. I think it's pretty funny. But this week I kind of wanted to continue with the introduction of who I am and what my hobbies are. And I'm going to keep this quick. Back in 2012, I decided to make a change, going from cartridge shaving, which are those 4 or 5 3-blade Gillette, Schick, Harry's, Dollar Shave type blades that just destroyed the face, to the point where I couldn't wear aftershave or anything. And I needed to find a cheaper way to shave. So I got into what's known as wet shaving. And what is wet shaving? Wet shaving consists of, well, water, a shave brush, shave soap or a shave cream. You can either face lather, or you can use maybe like an old vintage mug or a bowl. What I found back in 2017, my wife and I went to what's called a meetup. And a meetup is similar to like a pipe, like going to like the Chicago Pipe Show. But in wet shaving meetups, most people just meet up at a bar, have a drink, and they're usually artisan makers and customers. And artisan makers make the soaps, they make brushes, they make bowls, they make, even some of them make modern day razors. But what I found was that there's a beautiful shaving store here in Michigan called Maggard's, Maggard Razors. And it's a men's grooming store, but my wife and my daughters also are into wet shaving, so they find a lot of nice product down there as well. After the meetup, every year they host a meetup, and I've been going since 2017. I found that people who are into wet shaving, a lot of them are into pipe smoking and cigar smoking. And afterwards, they like to go out and smoke at a cigar shop and bring their pipes and stuff. And I was like, wow, what this connection. There's now a lot of you I know have beards and stuff, and they're really cool beards. So again, this may not interest you, but a lot of the gentlemen that are soap makers also do like beard balms and all kinds of stuff to take care of your mustaches and beards. So it's not just shaving, it's just grooming. But these people like to go out and smoke pipes and cigars. So it was fun learning that we all had similar interests. A lot of them collect watches, pens, vintage razors, modern razors. They collect pipes, tobaccos, all kinds of stuff. So it was fun to see that, wow, we all have similar interests. And to me, what it is just the enjoyment of life. Sitting down smoking a pipe, sometimes I don't want to watch YouTube. I just want to think. And I noticed that when I switched to the pipe from a cigar, I didn't do much thinking with the cigar. I mean, there was a little, but I can sit for an hour or so just puffing on my pipe and just thinking about, what to do for the family, just things that maybe I have to solve a problem or just get lost in thought. Same thing with wet shaving and vintage shaving like this. It's zen-like. I don't know how to explain it. You can do the research. You can look on YouTube. You can look up Mantic59. He's got tutorials and videos and stuff on YouTube. So I'll let you take it from there. But how did this wet shaving lead to pipe smoking? Well, a lot of the pipe makers, this is by Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, make also tobacco-scented soap. And there's a puck of soap in here, and this is made by an artisan, Douglas Smythe in Fran. And this is Cavendish. And it's got a wonderful scent to it, and you can get an aftershave that smells like Cavendish. This week, my wife and I ordered a cool collection. This is by Zingari. And this one is Tobacco, Bay Rum, and Bergamot, this soap. It came out just this week. It's a tribute to the essential workers. They have another one that's more of a citrus scent that my wife likes. But this is really good, and I got matching shave balm. A beautiful tobacco scent to it. Here, I've got an aftershave. This aftershave is made in Quebec, Canada, by Henri and Victoria. It's cognac and Cuban cigar. It's a wonderful aftershave. And you'll notice that, and what I've found is that a lot of soap makers, being pipe smokers and cigar smokers, they love to make a lot of the masculine scents with tobacco-scented essential oils or fragrance oils that they're using. There's a massive connection there. But something else I wanted to show, I had an artisan make this. This is by Dogwood. Brush handle maker. The Jurassic Park handle. And this is a synthetic knot I put in it. I notice a lot of people out there are really getting into pipe making, restoring, and just really getting into the hobby. And I'm thinking, oh no, I might fall down that rabbit hole and get a lathe and hopefully one day make pipes. But if you ever need something else to do with your lathe, you could get into brush making for brush handles on the lathe and make them. This gentleman does a lot of great work. Again, Dogwood is the company name, brush maker. Back in 2018, I started going to antique stores around January of 2018 to look for vintage razors. I had new razors, double-edged safety razors. I should be showing you one here. Pardon me for not showing. Part of wet shaving are double-edged safety razors plus single-edged safety razors where they only have one side that carries the blade, and chevettes and straight razors. By the way, this is a vintage Gillette open comb. As you can see, it's got the teeth there for those who probably grow their beard out for maybe a week. And this probably dates back to, it's the early 1900s, maybe 1920s, 1930s, or even prior. And I got this for about $5 in an antique store, cleaned it up. It's a great razor to use. This razor is what got me started into wet shaving. This is a Merkur 34C HD. This is probably the most popular razor out there. You can get on Amazon, Maggards, all kinds of places. They go for, now I think, 35 bucks. But if you take care of them, they'll last a lifetime. So in 2018, started going to antique stores to find some, just to see what it was out there when it came to razors. There are certain ones in a collector's or list that they want, that I started looking for, and a lot of them are Gillettes. I mean, I have Evereadys, I've got Gems, I've got other people made fun of me when I had my showing my pipes a number of videos ago, all the tobacco and pipes, and said I had tobacco acquisition disorder, pipe acquisition disorder, which I totally agree and I love it and not offended. But I also have what's called RAD, razor acquisition disorder. I have a lot more of these, but I'm not going to do that to you. I just wanted to show a connection and maybe encourage you to try going antiquing and picking up some of these, or, you know, as life gets back to normal, if you're trying to find a way to save money, you may want to get into wet shaving. I went down the rabbit hole. You could do this as cheap as you want, and you'll save a hell of a lot more money, especially on blades. Blades, you could get a 100 pack of blades for $10 or $11, depending on the brand. Some go up over 30, but regardless, you can get a year to 2 years use out of that. Try doing that with cartridge razors for 10 bucks. But on my hunt, this was one of the razors I was looking for. This is known as a Gillette Fat Boy. It's one of the most sought after razors out there. Through the history of looking, I've started to not even buy these anymore. I've got about 3 or 4. And ultimately, the goal is, even if you get a razor that's not in good shape, you could send it down to Razor Emporium in Arizona, and they will take it apart, clean it, check on it to make sure it's in great working order, and they'll replate it. You could do gold, rhodium, nickel, all kinds of things, and just get it perfectly shining. So that's what I plan on doing with my other ones. But this is known as the Gillette Fat Boy. This date on this one, I believe, is in the 1960s, which is really cool because you can date Gillette razors. This is a slim adjustable by Gillette. Again, 1950s, 1960s. They're adjustable. There's a knob here that you can adjust. They're a twist to open. I'll demonstrate it real quick. Twist down here, opens it up. You have a little knob here with up to 9 different types of aggression. But again, found this at an antique store. Most of these went max $20. You go over 20, you know, some people I've seen on the Fat Boys trying to get a couple $100. Nope, not going to happen. The 2 last razors I want to show, and this is why I'm so into antiquing. This is known as the Gillette Toggle. It's dated 1958. This opens not by a twist, but by the toggle down there. It's golden color and has an adjustment. This is one of the rarest razors out there. I have seen them go for over $1,000, but in the market right now, I think they're more going for $400 to $500, depending if you have the box that it came in, and the shape. But these are rare to find. Most people try to buy them on eBay. This I actually found at an antique shop, and I couldn't believe it. When I turned the corner and saw this, this is the holy grail of wet shaving. A 1958. They're very rare. They only made certain amount. Toggle. This is why I keep encouraging everybody to go to go antiquing. The last razor I'm going to show you is another rare one. This is a Gillette based on what's called the Tech razor, and they were made, I think, 40s or 50s. Very basic razor. But what's interesting about this is it has a key. Now, this is known as the Gillette Psycho. These were used at prisons and psych wards, where the guard or the orderly would have to put a key in, twist it to unlock the top so they could put the blade in. Let me do this really quick as best I can. You could put the blade in, put the top on, and they would screw it back down, so that way the prisoner or the patient wouldn't have a blade, could take a blade out and either slice their wrist or try to, cut somebody. These, and it's very rare to have the key. They normally came in a box of 10 and one key. I was at an antique store and a guy had this for $4. I've seen them go for around $150 on eBay, and you can buy a replica key, but this is the original key that went with it. Isn't that neat? They use these at psych wards and in prisons. What amazes me about antiquing and buying old razors is that they have a story. Where were they? Who owned them? The type of person what did that person do for a living? I mean, my gosh, some of the razors I have are over 100 years old. And I'm glad that somebody, like the pipes that we get at the antique stores, these pipes, I would like to learn a lot about the person that had it. And it's fun to restore them and bring them all back to life. And that's what happened with wet shaving and antiquing on razors, is that in 2018, we were in the summer, early summer, we ended up going to another antique store where I'd gotten some razors, and they had some antique pipes. And I thought, what if I get back into that? You never know. I mean, I'm loving old razors. What about old pipes? I find that I keep going back to older things, older music, old records, old record players. Sometimes I think a lot of us in the smoking community and in the wet shaving community were born in the wrong era. We just enjoy the finer things in life, from the whiskeys, maybe liquor, beer, to shaving, to pipe smoking, cigar smoking. I think it just helps us relax when life is going a little crazy or you've had a rough day. It's nice to sit down, have a drink, and have a smoke with something that's either modern day, new made, or an old vintage pipe or razor. I hope you, let me finish though. When I found those antique pipes, later in that summer, that led me down the path of going to Paul's Pipe Shop and getting addicted to pipes. Not addicted as in nicotine addicted, but the collecting of pipes, the enjoyment of pipes. It all came from this hobby of wet shaving, antiquing, to ultimately getting into YouTube, watching YouTube, and then becoming a presenter. So I hope you don't mind this story. I know it's ran long, but I wanted to show you another hobby and how this is something you might want to consider. I highly encourage you to go to start going to antique shops and start bringing these pipes back to life. And you might find that you might want to get into that hobby as well. Take care, have a great week, and we'll see you on Mother's Day.